Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the regular meeting of the East Lyme Board of Selectmen. Today is November 19th. This meeting immediately follows the previously scheduled town meeting, so we'll call the meeting to order at 12 minutes after 7. We did have the Pledge of Allegiance at the town meeting just a few moments ago, so I suggest we forego that. I don't know that there are any additional agenda or consent calendar items.
No.
That being said, that the next item would be for public delegations. Mr. Bialowitz?
I'm not nervous today, so.
Be
I'm
careful.
not-
See
I'm
what you
sorry,
get.
I don't know what that, I don't know
What
what
clicking
that
noise?
bumping is, whether
Is it
it's.
stepping on the cord, maybe?
It's very random.
Yeah. He fixed it.
There you
All
are.
set.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Formica and other board members. Congratulations on your election to the Senate, Mr. Formica.
Thank you, sir.
And here we go. My name is John Bialowitz Jr. of 61 Walnut Hill Road in East Lyme, Connecticut. I had some interesting reading this past weekend. I would like to have the reason behind or why no action was taken against Landino, Center Plan, or another company involved with the solar farm on Walnut Hill Road. If you read the cease and desist order that was given to the solar farm on April 7th, 2014, there are a lot of items that have to be addressed, and everyone with the solar farm wish it would go away. Some of the points or questions I would like to know. Why didn't the solar farm get a wetlands permit in accordance with section 6.1 of the East Lyme Wetlands Regulations? Why did the solar farm not be subject to enforcement and penalties under section 14 of the East Lyme Wetlands Regulations? Now I'm going into the cease and desist and restore order, East Lyme Inland Wetlands Agency, dated April 7th, 2014. Under the title of Corrective Action Procedure B, as I quote, a plan for restoring the disturbed area adjacent to and including the watercourses and wetlands at the site. Under the title Corrective Action Procedure Section G, as quoted, full compliance with this cease and desist order, all actions of this cease and desist order have been completed and approved. Under the title Corrective Action Procedure Section M, as quoted, the agency authority to institute any proceedings or take any other actions to prevent and abate violations of the law, pollution, recover costs, and natural resource damage, to impose penalties for past, present, or for future violations of the law. Under the title Corrective Action Procedure Section N, as quoted, respondents' obligations under law. Nothing in this cease and desist and restore order shall relieve respondents on other obligations under applicable federal, state, and local law. Under the title Corrective Action Procedure Q, as quoted, no effects on rights of other persons. This cease and desist restore order neither creates nor affects any rights of persons that are not parties of this cease and desist and restore order plan. It looks strongly that this cease and desist and restore plan, dated April 7th, 2014, is not being executed to the fullest extent being mentioned, looked at, or there's no enforcement of this order completely. There are so many promises, remarks, and meetings about this solar farm. Here are just a few comments I'm going to make tonight, which I am quoting for you now. July 14th, 2014, Inland Wetlands meeting. Gary discussed fines on the solar farm. A letter from Attorney O'Connell stated that the Wetlands Commission can request an injunction on the solar farm. October 23rd, 2014, letter to the Board of Selectmen. Gary stated that the sediment and erosion issues to abutting property owners is a civil matter, not the town's. It is very interesting that they are not going to enforce their own wetlands, watercourse regulations, and state policies that all towns follow and use. Chapter 440, Section 22A 36 to Section 22A 45A, that their own cease and desist restore plan, and also the federal guidelines not being followed. It seems amazing that all of these regulations and guidelines don't apply to the solar farm. It seems like there's only a handful of people that work for the town that have everything to say about the solar farm complex with this cease and desist and restore orders. The abutting property owners are John Benson, John Bialowans Jr., and John's niece Karen. The last two names belong to the Prokop homestead that has been in the family for over 100 years. We are all taxpayers of East Lyme and still paying taxes, or are we exempt from taxes because our watercourses have been damaged from the twice failed erosion control measures at the solar farm? That they think they can get away with anything or everything they ask for, or who they know to help them. We have retained attorney Janet Brooks of East Berlin, Connecticut to help us resolve this matter. She was working in the Attorney General office for 16 years in the environmental department. She organized the wetlands program of practice in the Attorney General's office. She has met with Gary and made many suggestions to us about who, what, and how to proceed with our action. We feel very comfortable with her. Thank you for listening to me, and you'll see me at the next meeting, John Bialowans Jr. I just wanted to get this out in the open because it's been bugging me ever since our property was damaged, and it doesn't seem like nothing is getting done. You know, you have to start from the top and work your way down. It's just that we're not really getting any satisfaction with what's happening. And that's the reason why we had to go to attorney and everything else. The cease and desist says right there that Landino is supposed to be repairing our property. But I've been trying to work with him for over 6 months already, and they have come out, looked at the property. They have gone on my property without permission and took pictures and everything else, which I don't care. It's just that the idea is I want that watercourse to be the way it was when my grandparents had it. And that's all I want, because there's a big liability out there now for us and everything. We got ruts 3 and 4 feet deep that was never like that and everything. And I'm just to the point now that I went the attorney route, which, you know, I didn't want to, but, you know, in one of the things it says that I will recover my costs that I am, you know, getting now. And I have soil scientists come out there. I have had the state come up there and everything, and they gave me a lot of suggestions on this, how to fix this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bialowans. Are you providing us with copies of?
Oh, yes.
You're always so efficient.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. You're always so efficient. Thank you very much.
Should be a paralegal sometimes.
Thank you, John.
I'm amazed at myself sometimes.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
If you have an extra one, would you leave one for Mrs. Harding too? If you, that way we can mark that and put it in her mailbox.
At least I didn't knock her name tag.
Yeah, that's because you were nervous that day.
Yeah, huh?
That's when you were nervous.
I was nervous, I don't know why. You guys so we just talk with Joe.
Thank you very much, sir, and thank you for the kind words. Is there anyone else who would like to speak under public delegations? Hearing none, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the special meeting of November 5th, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and second. Is there a discussion on these minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone oppose or abstain? Motion carries. The next item would be the approval of minutes of the regular meeting of November 5th, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion on these minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone oppose or abstain? Motion carries. The next item is the consent calendar.
Move to approve the consent calendar in the amount of $2,261.65 for the November 19th, 2014 meeting.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Is there any discussion on this item? I will abstain from this vote as my motor vehicle plates and refund are included on this of $87.06. So, hearing no further discussion, all those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I will abstain. Thank you. Next item is to increase the commercial hauler's tipping fee. This is on the agenda because, our Public Works Director is here to provide backup information, but basically, in a nutshell, we noticed that we were remaining constant with our tipping fee volume going up to Scara, and other towns surrounding us were going down a little bit. So Mr. Burgaud did a lengthy investigation regarding why that possibly could be so, and it seems that we are the lowest charging town in the area. And while I'm not saying that this is happening, the possibility is strong that other haulers are picking up waste, municipal solid waste from other towns, coming in here, grabbing a small amount of East Lyme waste, and then bringing it up there and crediting to our town where they pay a $2 or $3 lower fee. So by adding this charge and this administrative fee, which we're allowed to do so by law, we kind of rectify that wrong and keep us in line with the other towns, so therefore that should eliminate the problem. Now, Mr. Burgaud, do you want to comment further on anything I said, or was that?
That summarizes unless the board has any questions with that.
Okay.
That's
That's the quick and dirty, so. what's
I'll
your
make a
pleasure?
motion. We'll have a discussion if necessary. Move to increase commercial haulers' tipping fees charged by the town to $62 a ton, effective December 1st, 2014.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Is there discussions or questions for Mr. Burgaud? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? Motion carries.
I have another motion. Move to increase the annual registration fees for each hauler to $100 per truck, up to a maximum of $500, effective July 1st, 2015.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Mr. Wilson, I would probably want a question from you on this one, Mr. Burgaud, if you don't mind. The discussion says increase for each hauler to $100 per truck, up to a maximum of $500. Does that mean $500 per truck or $500 total?
Up to a maximum of 500 total for the hauler.
For the fleet?
For that
For the
company.
fleet.
So
For
if he
that
has
company.
six-
They have to, a hauler has to register their trucks by the truck, by the license plate, by the registration of the truck. So it'd be a maximum of 500 for the hauler. So if it's Sawchuck and they have 6 trucks, it would only be 500 max.
So it's
But-
100 a truck, he gets over 5, he gets the rest of them at no cost?
Yeah, it's the exact same fee as Montville.
Okay,
The London charges $250 a truck.
okay.
Waterford charges $25 a truck, which is less, but we've been charging $75 per hauler for, I think, the last 20 years.
Okay.
So we've been charging $75 per hauler regardless of the number of trucks?
Correct.
Okay.
So, and it wasn't mentioned before, but this revenue stream, which isn't charging any more than any other area towns, could raise an extra $18,000 for the town, which is revenue that we're not getting now.
Thank you.
Any further comments or discussion? We have a motion and a second, don't we?
We do.
All those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
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 Anyone oppose or abstain? Motion carries. The next item is the Board of Selectmen meeting calendar for 2015.
I'll move to approve the Board of Selectmen meeting calendar for the 2015 as submitted.
Second.
Any discussion? Thank you, Joe. All those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
I will vote on that and be able to watch you on Channel 22.
What channel do we get to watch you on?
I
Oh,
don't know. I gotta
Channel 3.
I know there is- no,
23
there's-
or 24.
There is some channel we can.
Ex officio reports?
I have December, correct, the Board of Ed,
Yeah.
correct, right? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we just,
Everybody's gonna say yes now.
Well,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm
Yours
assuming
now.
it's
I
the
think
same.
January too, I think.
Yeah, that could be too. Well, maybe you can come back for a little bit. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Any other ex officio?
I went to Harbor Management last night, and just one thing of interest, the National Guard made a small presentation. Due to elevated threat levels and so forth, they're going to be establishing a safe zone around the camp, Niantic, which they'll be placing, it still needs to go through Wellsco and come back to Harbor Management and so forth, but basically 250 feet from the shore out into the water to keep people from coming in, which does affect some clamming beds and so forth. So it's a very nice presentation. Obviously, we understood the concern, but they're going to be coming back for more input and looking for some more information from us, which that joint land use committee might be great to look into that once it gets formed. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson?
No, I'm good.
Mr. Cheeseman?
Yes, I attended the last meeting of the zoning commission, and the main item on the agenda was changing zoning regulations which had prohibited any establishment serving alcohol within 200 feet of the property line of any house of worship or synagogue. That was altered to read within 100 feet of the building. This will permit a new restaurant to go in downtown in the former health food store. So then that's basically what happened at zoning.
Sir?
I attended a Water and Sewer Commission meeting earlier this week. I'm sure for Selectmen, well, actually, you're not going to cover that, are you?
No.
I chaired that as well. Board of Education, I attended on Monday. Their design committee was a special meeting. Design committee unveiled their design of the elementary school plan. They are interested in bringing it to this commission with a joint meeting with the Board of Finance, just to kind of keep us in the loop and understand what might be coming back to us for the actual plan with a price tag on it. So that's upcoming, and that's all I have.
Thank you, both Mark and I, and Mark actually was significantly involved in the military breakfast for the Chamber of Commerce honoring our nation's veterans. Attended that breakfast meeting. There was an event to raise money for the Homeless Hospitality Center at the All Souls Church. As we contribute to that, I attended that. I spoke to the new owner of the Elms Hotel. He has now purchased the property and the mortgage, and we are working out final settlement of that. That item is moving forward. On Veterans Day, I had the pleasure of attending the ceremony at the town green honoring our veterans, which is always a great ceremony, and they do, the Veterans Council does a great job putting that on. But also at Niantic Center, at the middle school, at Lily B. Haynes in Flanders. And then I was with Congressman Courtney at a ceremony honoring all the veterans that are residents of the Bridebrook Health and Rehabilitation Center. There was a SACIA, Southeastern Connecticut Housing Authority, tour of the region to kind of showcase the affordable housing. They made 2 stops in East Lyme. Bill Mulholland met them at, what's the one in Bradbrook?
Seaside?
No, Seaside is Hope Street,
Yep.
but I can't, what's the name of the one?
Sea
Spray, thank you so much. Sea Spray, and I met them at the affordable housing at Hope Street. And there was quite a few people on the bus, and there was a lot of interest there. I also attended a Rotary meeting last week where they honored the veterans, and it was a very nice ceremony. The Lyman Allen Museum held a meeting and an event to honor the bioscience industry in the area, and I went as a result of the Nature's Fingerprint, which is an East Lyme company headed by John Jasper, was recognized at that ceremony. He has become a leader in genetic research and he's right here out of East Lyme. It's a growing company. We're very proud of that. I attended last night a meeting of the East Lyme Public Trust and reviewed the boardwalk scenario with them, and Council of Governments and the seat meeting this morning, a senior luncheon, and then on Sunday past I attended the change of command. Colonel Lukowski is moving up to Hartford, and he passed the baton to the new colonel here, which I mentioned that we should interview you. And then two other things. Finally, I was asked as I began my transition from here to Hartford, I was asked to comment on the potential of some bills. And one of the bills that we're discussing putting in place, and I'm looking at you particularly for a reason, because the Siting Council seems to have an area of potential lapse that came to light during this whole situation. The Siting Council is the one who's responsible for the site plan of their location, and it kind of leaves the town out of the ability to help design the site plans, and unless we only get to deal with the perimeter and out. So I'm looking to try to create some language on the state level and introduce a bill that would allow more town participation in the development of a proper siting plan and oversight, because there's only one person in the Siting Council that has to do that. It might help both the town control what's happening as it moves, and for neighbors to have confidence in what's going on. And then finally, Kevin mentioned the JLS program, which is a study being done to look at the perimeters and the land areas around both of the National Guard camps in our town. I was notified that Bob Ross, who is the Executive Director of Military Affairs, will be working with Gary Gaishel as the state representative to that program. So
Right.
that's moving forward, and that's a good sign for us. And that is my report. I thank my able colleague down there on the technical.
That's you.
Thank you so much for your services. All right. Any comments on that? Public discussion. Anybody like to talk under public discussion? Hearing none. Selectmen have anything to say?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion is
Second.
made
So
and
moved.
seconded, third and fourth.
Fourth,
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
good night.
Good night.
And have a happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everyone.
Thanksgiving.
Yes.